Hi, this is Kerry Artak with Wicked Stocks, bringing you your daily Tesla report for Tuesday, June 3rd, 2025. Let's take a look at the charts. I want to start with the fact that last week, after pushing through and even closing above on the daily chart, the 351.39 to 352.60 region, we fell back last week to close the week below it. A no-go on a potential long-term buy signal. And so if there's anything to do right now in Tesla longer term, it is still to either A, be out of any long position, or B, actually playing the short side. And before I leave this chart, just want to explain that 352.60 is a rising 2-year channel top. 351.39 is a simple upside 50% retracement on the weekly chart from the December high to that April low. 352.60, we closed above last April, which set off follow-through buying to almost the 514.97 5-year channel top. We fell away, bounced very slightly off the 352.60 formation before closing below it the following week, which continued the collapse into early April. So here we are again. It is a ceiling of resistance. Yes, if we close above 352.60 on the week, we would be in the midst of a meaningful buy signal as we move through June and really through the third quarter. And I'll cover that in a moment, but that is not the case. What we have now on the daily chart, this is the same area on the daily chart represented by horizontal lines. And in fact, holding below the low 350s, one must allow for 275.76 over the next 3 to 5 weeks. Allow for becomes expect if we close today below 343.79. Now, this channel bottom we certainly violated on Monday, but did not close below it, which in my opinion is fending off a sell signal that could play out through June. Now, I skew negative now anyway, just merely holding below the low 350s. And if we close today below 343.79, I would expect by Friday's close, possibly within 1 to 3 days, 316.93. We could bottom out there for a day. But as I say, ultimately, closing below 343.79, especially after having, thrown off the head fake from last week, we did close above this area on a daily basis. But the weekly settlements have the final say on longer term signals. And this one has yet to occur. And now that we've sort of eased back from there, once again, closing below 343.79 it's at the very least your indication to exit a long position, in my opinion. If you're presently long and your time horizon takes you out 2 to 3 to 5 weeks or so, because odds favor continued price erosion. Closing below 343.79 within several days, 316.93, and quite possibly within 2 to 3 weeks, 275.76. 275.76 is a solid support area. By that point in time, able to contain selling through July, and from here we can round up within 3 to 5 weeks back into the low 350s again. We would have a sell signal through the third quarter or well into the third quarter if over the coming weeks we were to close below 275.76, but there's no point in going there now. Now, for the upside, if we do close today above 352.60, I do think we've got a good low for the week. That would also involve having closed above Monday's high. And so closing above Monday's high of 348.02 in combination with closing above 352.60, that long-term channel top on the weekly chart, I think we can at least anticipate a good low for the week. The question then, though, of course, is what kind of upside can we anticipate under that scenario? We have 362.89, that's the high settlement price from last week, as an initial target. I don't know about today. I would say that if we close today above 352.60, 362.89 is likely within a day or two. We could get caught again in this sort of kind of two-sided consolidated framework into later week if we close today above 352.60. But if over the next day or two we close above 362.89, I would say by Friday's close, 383.76 is likely. So, should you go long with a settlement today above 352.60? And I'm just going to say just the opposite of what I said before. I don't think you should be short. Should you be long? I'm going to say 3 to 5 day swing traders can be long. anticipating at least 362.89. That's a solid 10-point move. Potentially 383.76, depending on volatility. With a settlement today, Tuesday, above 352.60, we could potentially, by Friday's close, reach 383.76. But I think the likelier outcome is we quickly retest last week's high area, represented here at 362.89. And then if we close Friday above the 352.60 level, then I expect longer-term upward continuation. This is your investment grade buy signal, if you will. And I'm talking 3 to 5 months out, where you go long Tesla, you stay long Tesla so long as we do not close back below the 351.39 level, because by the end of the year or sooner, 3 to 5 months, 514.97 would be in reach. And that is a 5-year channel top, able to contain quarterly, possibly annual buying pressures. On the way up, we would have a 3 to 5 week target at 427.01. And that would be true if we close the week above 352.60. If we close today above 352.60, it is a signal to exit a short position, and short-term swing traders, 3 to 5 days out would be the max, can go long above 352.60 today. It would be a settlement Friday above 352.60, where 3 to 5 week swing traders can go long to 427.01, and your near-term investor, 3 to 5 months out, anticipating then going long for 514.97. I hope this all made sense. By the way, on Monday, we put out another stock pick, Tempus AI. I don't know if you're familiar or not, but that is a medical AI stock right on the edge of a meaningful buy signal. We present all of the details, the specific levels to settle above for entering a long position. We would expect a quick 20% within 2 to 3 to 5 weeks, and as we continue into the third quarter, we're looking at more like a 30% return if we get the buy signal. So check us out at wickedstocks.com. We offer a 5-day free trial up front. And with that, not only do you see that stock pick, but all of our recent stock picks. You also get our daily triple Q and our daily SPY analysis, our weekly Apple stock analysis, etc., etc. Check us out at wickedstocks.com. I'm going to leave it at that. I will be back tomorrow, of course, with Wednesday's Tesla. You have a great day.